Welcome to the In-View segment of Magnus Sparkle GVA. Today on this segment, we'll be focusing our discussion on human insecurity and poverty. We'll be discussing how it affects human capital development and the people in general. So we are looking at human insecurity and poverty. I would like to ask that, is poverty a threat to human security? What is causing the problem we are facing right now in Nigeria? We're seeing that insecurity is on the rise. We hear of attacks every day. People can't travel on the road, the train, especially the road from Abuja to Kaduna is on high risk at the moment. Is it poverty that is causing these problems for us, or is it the insecurity that is increasing the level of poverty that we're seeing in the country?
Okay, well, I think that clearly poverty and what I call poverty stress. I've been talking about poverty stress for years, since I was in a poverty eradication field. Because of the dependence, that people have on certain people, they create great stress on the person that would have been otherwise successful. So that's poverty stress. It derived from the poverty of people in severe poverty. And I think that stress is causing people to look for whatever ways they can use to increase their incomes. And sometimes some people resort to very untoward ways, like kidnapping and terrorism, and banditry, or whatever you may call it. But I think that in poor countries, poverty clearly has a role in in exacerbating insecurity. But truly, they are both forces that drive a vicious circle. So while poverty will lead to insecurity, insecurity itself also creates poverty, because then people are not able to work due to insecurity. They don't go to their farms, they don't go to work, they don't go to school, and then that causes more poverty, as they are not able to work due to fear of kidnapping, of terrorism, and what have you. So I think that there are forces, to put it very clearly and properly, that there are evil forces that drive a vicious circle.
Yeah, so that's good to know. You mentioned very good points for people to know that these things work hand in hand, poverty and the insecurity that we are seeing, that both of them go along with each other. So I'd like to ask Mr. Kunle, how is this insecurity affecting the Nigerian economy and people's human capital in general?
Well, for me to answer that, I would like to lean on something Professor created, which is the human insecurity vicious circle, that talks about the insecurity leading to corruption. Then from there, you have the low potency and the uncompetitiveness of the people. Now, it's a cycle. Because people are afraid, it means their productivity will become low. And when that happens, people will look for escape routes, just like we mentioned. One effect we can see there quickly is the human flight and brain drain. Is that a lot of people, and why do people move? Two main reasons. Number one, when there's tension when there's economic deterioration in their home country. And number two, when there is fear, which is caused by insecurity. When people are afraid, they move. They move to other countries. That's why you find Nigerians are moving. And these people, when they move, it means we will have low human capital here. And when that happens, it means the economic growth, it keeps evolving. The ones that are left, they are even afraid to go to school. It means it becomes uncompetitive, and which will also put a stress on the economy.
So let's look at the Kaduna issue, the issue that Kaduna people are facing. People in Abuja or other parts of the country can hardly go to Kaduna. If you want to fly to Kaduna, it's very expensive, and very few people can afford that, looking at the situation of the country. You can't go by road. The last time I went to Kaduna by road, I think my heart was in my mouth before we got to Kaduna. And then even by train, we thought we were comfortable, but now it seems it's going to be the same thing. When you're traveling on the train, since the attack, you feel you won't be comfortable, and then the fear of going. A lot of people will not be able to go to Kaduna. So why the situation? Why do you think that the constitution is in Kaduna? And then we see that the federal government is not saying much. I look forward to hearing something that will encourage me from the government, but I'm not hearing it. So the governor of Kaduna just spoke recently, but I feel it's not so encouraging, or it's not something that is very encouraging to encourage the people. We're expecting a lot from the government. Why is it Kaduna? Why do you think it's Kaduna? And why is the federal government not doing so much to bring an end to this problem that we are facing?
Kaduna has historically been the political center of the North. And the terrorists, they call them bandits, are mostly operating in the northern part of the country. So they also go to the capital. So they try to go to where they think the action is, where they will get the most visibility. And it's really not just a Kaduna issue. I think it's a national problem. And it's just exposed in Kaduna, and it exposes the weakness that we have in tackling this problem. But I think also that they probably are people that want to come to Abuja. And maybe the security in Abuja is a little too much for them at this time. And we should see this as a signal, as people on the way to embarrass the country going to the national capital. So they're going to the political capital of the North, it seems to me, in preparation to wanting to go to the political capital of the country. So we should take this seriously. I think that's one reason they're going there, because they're going to where they will make a loud sound, big noise for the world to hear.